Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Pebble Penny coin video. We had a week off last week, which, thank you Facebook for notifying me of everything, that's just wonderful. We had a week off last week, a complete week away from coins. Well, we did indulge once. Those of you may or may not know that the Royal Australian Mint is doing their best to get donation dollars into as many people's hands as possible, and they have chosen to use one of their reseller networks to distribute donation dollars to be handed out as change, and that is via News Express news agents, and they will be getting those donation dollars, I believe, at face value, and then using them to give to people as change. The Mint's ultimate aim being to get those coins into as many people's hands as possible. So we have known that that was coming for quite a while, and we decided to drop into a News Express on release day and just see if they had any donation dollars and have a chat to them, and they did actually have some. So I guess if you do go into our News Express, then make sure that you ask for a donation dollar in your change, and just remember that the Mint, of course, is wanting the donation dollars to be donated. That is the goal of them. They definitely do not want them to be hoarded or resold or things like that. So yeah, if you are near a News Express, do pop in there and buy a birthday card or something like that, or I guess a newspaper if anyone still buys newspapers, and see if you'll get a donation dollar in your change. Now, of course, we had a week off, and we had a very good week off. It was very relaxing. I've managed to come back with a fairly horrific cold, which of course you always manage to do. So if I do switch the sound off to sneeze or cough or something, then that is why. We'll say a few hellos to people here. Hello, Alex, Patrick, Pauline, John, Gwen, Ash, Mike, Shane, Dan, Matthew, Tanya, Brendan, Cam, Paul, and John, and Kathy. Hello, Kathy. A few new names there. Hello, Aiden. How are you? We had Aiden's dad in here a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, Matthew. This is my PCGS shirt that was given to us as part of our membership package when we were PCGS members. We're not PCGS members anymore. It fits really well, actually. It's very comfortable. I do enjoy wearing it. Let's jump into the news. So the week before we had a week off, of course, the 2023 Mint and proof sets were released. The Mint is slammed in terms of production for those things, and there's still a lot of, I guess, hangover from collectors determined to get their hands on them, perhaps with a bit of a hangover from the Red Poppy, the 2022 Red Poppy. So as such, we sold out of our allocation really quickly. We are going to get more, we hope, in late January. The last update from the Mint was mid to late January. Please don't, I don't understand people are paying over release price for the Mint sets and the proof sets. I've seen many sales on Facebook where people are doing that. Please don't pay over release price for them, because you will be able to get them all of the year next year. Nice set, packaging is very well done, the coin is very well done, and I'm not surprised that it's quite popular, even putting aside the hype from the Red Poppy. If you are interested in getting your hands on them, please just contact us via Facebook with your email address and your location, and we will let you know when they are available on our website, which, as I said, should be mid to late January next year. Now, as I've already mentioned, News Express is going to be distributing donation dollars to the public as part of their change. The ones that we saw in the News Express that we popped into were 2021s still. So if you are near a News Express, do drop in there and see if you can get your hands on a donation dollar. There's been a few comments already about the poppy. Today, of course, was the ballot announcement day, so if you did enter into the ballot to be able to purchase 3 of the 2022 red poppies, then you would have got your email today announcing whether you've won or not. If you did, congratulations. If you didn't, commiserations. Just to the person who asked, no, we won't be getting any more. The wholesale allocation is exhausted. The Mint's phone call centre allocation is exhausted. The Mint's retail shop allocation is exhausted. The only way to get them is via that ballot. So if you were lucky enough from that ballot, well, congratulations to you if you managed to get your hands on those. The Mint, now that the ballot is out of the way, is reopening their e-shop on the 1st of November, and they will be selling mint sets, proof sets, Smith family coins, Daintree $5 coins and Daintree gold coins, all with limits from the 1st of December. Of course, we still don't know why their website went down. The rumours is that it is bots or something, but I really don't know. Now, I will just address a comment here from Brendan Ailiff. He said it twice now. The Mint killed coin collecting with this red poppy. It has not been pleasant for some people, I think. Yes, Kathy, I do mean the 1st of December. Sorry, like I said, I'm riddled with cold at the moment, so my brain's barely working. Brendan, it has been unpleasant for people that haven't been able to get their hands on them. It has been unpleasant for us as resellers, as mint wholesalers. It's been unpleasant. But has it killed coin collecting? No, I don't think it has. I know there's been a call for people to have unlimited mintages on these things, but I don't think that will solve the problem. You only need to look at the high mintages of coins in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, and the huge numbers of stamps and things that were issued through the similar period, and none of those things have any resale value, and certainly Australia Post managed to murder stamp collecting as a hobby with the sheer numbers of products that they released. So yes, it's unpleasant for some people, and I number us about that, but I don't think it's killed coin collecting. I think that it has gathered the hobby a lot of interest. It'll bring a lot of new people to the hobby. I think the resellers of flippers, or whatever you want to call them, they perhaps can be viewed with a bit of disgust, but that just is inevitable when any hobby becomes popular, whether it be shoes or concert tickets or Xboxes or PlayStations. If there's money to be made, then those people will appear, and I guess if they have appeared, it shows you that there's demand, and that means I think that the hobby is as strong as ever. I don't think it has murdered the hobby, but if you didn't get a coin, I do feel sorry for you if you did miss out. So Brendan, he says that his collection of C mint marks is dead. There always comes a point where the dollars become too much, and I understand that, and I do sympathise with you. My advice would be wait a few years. I'm sure the price will drop back. The mintage is still quite high, and just remember that the people that are hanging on to these things to resell them will move on to the next thing once there's no money to be made out of these, and there's a good chance you'll get it at a lower price. But I do sympathise that you've missed out on it. Right, 3 news stories this week. I don't have a topic of the week this week because, to be honest, I'm not really feeling up to it. We'll go back to the poppy thing again. Mike has made a good point here. A low mintage coin is great for the industry once... Sorry, Facebook just scrolled away. Mike says, will you stop that please, Facebook? A low mintage coin is great for the industry once in a while. It adds interest, but the RAM handled it very badly. It's not a low mintage coin. It's a high. It's the same as the last couple of C Mint Mark $2 coins. The demand, I think, was expected to be very high, but I don't think anyone expected the Mints website to fall over like it did. I know that they have invested a lot of money into it over the last few years, and I don't think anyone could have anticipated what had happened. Perhaps they should have done the ballot from day one. Perhaps they were confident in what they'd done and they expected their website to be able to handle the sales. Unfortunately, it didn't. It doesn't change the fact that most of the mintage did get distributed via phones or the RAM retail shop or via wholesalers like us. Yes, no one got what they wanted. Not everyone got what they wanted, but still a lot of people did get what they wanted. I'm sure a lot of the bitterness that people have is that they're seeing these things sell for hundreds of dollars, and I can understand why they're upset about that. Did the RAM handle it badly? Yeah, they could have done it better, but having met the people that are responsible for this sort of stuff, I can assure you they are trying their best. Okay, they're not doing this deliberately, they are absolutely trying their best. Right. Matthew Charger Rice says there's the NRL and AFL coins, only 500 mintage, but because they aren't $2 coins, they aren't popular. Matthew, there's lots of examples like that, but that's a great example. You're right, they're not $2 coins. No, they're not popular. I really don't understand why they don't fetch more money. Anyway, the Celtic Museum in Bavaria in Germany experienced a power failure this month, and the power failure came from the severing of a cable near a local power distribution centre. 5 minutes after the power cable was severed, the Celtic Museum was broken into, and a hoard of gold Celtic staters were stolen from the museum. We'll just pop up a picture of those. So, the timing is pretty remarkable that the power went down and 5 minutes later the museum was broken into. 483 gold staters and other coins were stolen, dating back to about 100 BCE, so that's 2,122 years ago. Unfortunately, it's likely that they're going to be melted and sold for bullion value, simply because reselling those as Celtic coins will be virtually impossible, because of course people will understand what it is that they are. Those coins are worth $500 to $1,000 each, so you're talking $500,000, $1 million worth of ancient Celtic gold coins. If they do get melted down, then they're likely only to net about $200,000 in gold value. Pretty awful thing, really, and I don't think it's the first time that a gold coin has been stolen from a German museum. I think a 20-kilo gold coin was stolen from a German museum a few years ago. So I guess if you do see a flood of Celtic gold staters appear on the market, then it might be worth an email to the Australian Federal Police, but I doubt whether the people who stole it are clearly smart enough to get in there will be that dumb to sell those things as coins. But it is a sad thing that those coins will be lost to history. Incidentally, they were the biggest Celtic gold coin hoard found in Germany in the 20th century, so pretty sad event there. There was another interesting thing that happened this week. There was a report released from a Scottish university about a gold coin that was found in Transylvania, which is in Romania, I think. Transylvania is in Romania. It was found there in 1713, and it was found with 3 other coins. And it's a gold coin, and the coin itself is unusual in that the legends are very crude. The coin appears to have been cast rather than struck, and of course you would know that Roman coins were struck rather than cast. Now, it has always been assumed that these coins were fakes. Now, the reason for that is that, of course, Roman coins are struck and not cast. Also, that the other coins that were found with this coin were also deemed to be fakes. but a researcher at the University of Glasgow has examined these coins using XRF, and those of you who have watched our videos before would know what that is. They've also examined it with a electron microscope, and they've determined that the gold composition is consistent with Roman gold coins of the period, and they've also decided that the surface condition of the coin is consistent with the coin actually having circulated, and that they have found microscopic traces of dirt on the surface of the coin, which is also consistent with it having been buried for a considerable amount of time. Now, that all sounds really interesting until you actually read into it a bit more and go and look at some learned numismatic forums. There's almost no one that is convinced that this is a real coin, and certainly a lot of people asking how this report got through what's called peer review, and that very few people agree with the findings. Sponsian is supposed to have been a high-ranking Roman soldier who took control of a region of what was then called Dacia in about AD 260, and that region of Dacia, which is in Romania, was cut off from the rest of the Roman Empire, surrounded by barbarians or Goths, or whoever the people were at that point. And this emperor supposedly took control of that area and ruled it for about 10 or 15 years before it was reunited with the rest of the Roman Empire. Now, it has always been assumed that this coin was fake, and that Roman Emperor Sponsian didn't actually exist, but this researcher at the University of Glasgow has decided that the coin is real, and therefore probably the emperor is real. But as I said, not everyone agrees with his conclusions, and just based on the reading that I've done, I'm not sure that I do either. Interesting little bit of numismatic scandal there, with one person saying it's real and the rest of the numismatic world suggesting that it probably isn't. Certainly puts $2 coins into perspective when you look at things like that. Right, the last item for today is a hoard of Scottish coins that was found southeast of Glasgow, the same Glasgow where the university was with the last coin. There were 8,400 British silver pennies found in the hoard, which is the biggest hoard found in Scotland since the 19th century. And actually, if you've watched these videos before, you would know about the treasure rules in Britain. The same or similar rules apply in Scotland, so the finder of these coins had to report them to the Scottish Treasure Board. And interestingly, in 2022, only 12,000 items of treasure were reported to the Scottish Treasure Board, and 8,400 of those were these silver coins. Now, a very tenuous Australian connection with these coins is that most of them were issued by Edward I, or Edward Longshanks, or what he was known as the Hammer of the Scots. And he's the king that conquered Scotland, and of course here's the Australian connection that caused the uprising of Braveheart, that person whose name I've forgotten because, as I said, I'm riddled with cold. Mel Gibson played his character in the Braveheart movie and fought Edward I, so it's just interesting to think that incredibly historically William Wallace, that's his name, that incredibly historically inaccurate movie is somehow linked to this hoard of silver pennies that dated from about the 1270s to 1320. Yeah, just a really interesting find. I still am dumbfounded that hoards of thousands of coins like these can be found in places like in Europe. I just find that quite remarkable. And yes, image courtesy of the purple penny. This is a Edward I penny that we sold a couple of years ago. It's nice to be able to share one of our own images, especially because a couple of the news articles that I read about this particular find were showing example Edward I pennies that weren't even Edward I pennies, so I thought I would just try to be a bit more accurate than perhaps some of the learned journalists. Right, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for joining in. I hope to be here next week at the same time. We open the shop up again on Wednesday. We've been closed for a week. Catherine has had not much mailing to do because we had the website closed down as well. We really just didn't want to do anything for a week. Do keep an eye on our website. We'll be getting a whole bunch of stuff listed up in the next week or two. There's a whole bunch of, dare I say it, $2 coins that have gone up today. Some lovely world coins. Do keep your eye out for some early 20th and late 19th century European gold in the next few days. I did just have one bit of show and tell here before we go. These came in a collection a couple of weeks ago. Now you're probably not really going to be able to see them too well here, but these are what I call lead squeezers. So it's a uniface blob of lead with the impression of a metal on one side. So these were made by metal manufacturers to test the design of a metal to make sure that the dyes were satisfactory. And you don't see them very often, and we just happened to have 4 or 5 come in the same batch of stuff a couple of weeks ago, and they're not very valuable. They're perhaps worth $5 or $10 each, but this is the first time I've ever seen them, and I was chuffed as when they come in. It's funny how when you run a coin shop that the small inconsequential things give you a great deal of pleasure, things that you haven't necessarily seen before, and I will hang on to these for a while and enjoy owning them for a little while before I move them on to someone else. So little lead squeezers from medal or badge manufacture, just really cool little things, really interesting artifacts of the manufacturing process, which I really enjoy. Right, bye everyone. Thank you for your wishes about getting better soon. Have a safe and happy week. If you won in the $2 Poppy ballot, congratulations. I hope that you enjoy your coin. If you missed out, it's not the end of the world. There'll be more coins coming up, and if you really want one, save up your pennies and get one. I still regret some things that I didn't spend money on, and I wish I owned them now. So there you go. Good luck everyone. I hope you get what you want. Happy collecting. Stay safe, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.